Blessed be the name of the Lord. And I want to speak sometimes some of the things are looking very odd manner, and we have to straighten up when we hear those things, because people should not be in a confusion. Sometimes they hear from the YouTube and from the church, in the church, and ministers and the pastors, they must know that whether they are really called of God. And I already published the YouTube concerning this, and that is already there. Now Brother Branham says here, if you are not called to preach, the Brother Branham says here, the throne of mercy, in that message, the throne of mercy, Brother Branham says here, if you are not called to be a preacher, you get all mixed up anyhow, messed up, and you will get people tangled up, and you will ruin them and yourself too. Unquote. He said, you will ruin them and yourself too. So that means that the preacher is really called of God. He is not called of God, and he is really wasting the time. He is ruining the congregation. He is ruining the people, and he himself will also be ruined. So that is what is going on today. And he mixed up the things, and mixed it up anyhow. He mixed up the things. Sometimes he says something, and never he preached the subject. Never he preached the message. What Brother Branham preached already. There are so many things, things are there in the message. We have to be perfected, the bride must be perfected by the preaching of the gospel. Because that Ephesians 4:11, those gifts are called to make a saints perfect, bring unto the perfection. So now here what happened, these are the preachers, and coming in the YouTube, and they falsely accuse the pastors and ministers, and in their YouTube, and they are condemning them in such a manner. All right, I know if those pastors are preaching the real message, these people are targeting them and preaching against them. That is not so. Actually, one thing is sure. Brother Branham says, if you are not called to be a preacher, preacher must be called. That is very important. That I don't want to explain those things, because already brought out the publisher, the YouTube. That YouTube is there, and you can watch that. A few days back I preached that message. Now here, that preacher is not called of God. What he will do? That is the question. What he will do? He will mix it up. Mix it up in the sense, he will mix up the things, He is not preaching from the subject or any important things which is necessary for the people to get born again. The soul must be delivered. There is no message with them so that can deliver their souls of the people from the darkness, from the bondage, from the deception. So such things are not there. What they do, they simply come and they scream. The way very loudly they scream, and they think that if they scream, that is God speaking to us. No. That is the devil, the devil incarnating in those people, in those preachers, and screaming. Yes, they can wear any kind of dress in the YouTube, and they display themselves, such a manner. That is the kind of the people today, the preachers today, coming into the YouTube and preach. So this quotation is very, 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 very important quote, and this quote is very important. And Brother Branham truly he said that they mixed it up, and you will get people tangled up, and you will ruin them and yourself too. Yes, they will ruin them. They ruin the people. There is no benefit to the people. They hear such preachers, and they will not march forward. Rather, they will go back and they will become the worse than the initial stage. That is the things are going on today. The people, moreover, the people are not at all benefited, even in the church, even publicly after watching the YouTube. These are the things are happening. So Brother Branham strictly says, if you are not called of God, you preachers, so you are mixed up with the many things, and that you are preaching to not to benefit, not to edify the souls, not to edify the souls. You are preaching to ruin the soul, ruin the people, and even yourself will be ruined. That is what, there are certain YouTubes are there. You can go and see that, and you might have already watched those YouTubes, and where you can see the people are how they preach. These preachers are how they come and preach anyhow. There is no particular subject to preach. They don't know. What is the problem? They are not deeply gone in the message. There is no message in them. So therefore, very careful, be careful. These are the people are today, they're coming up and they condemn the true ministers of God from their YouTube channel. So that is what going on. So this is the short clip I am preaching, and I am to edify the body of Christ, and this very short clip, so you may enjoy this, because this quote attracted me. That I believe the Lord showed me this quote, that if you are not called to preach. So therefore I will put the same title what William Branham says here. So may God bless you, may God grant you His grace.